Welcome to Bug Studios and tell you what's going on. Alright, I got stuff to tell you about probation officer. I'll tell you that next. I got locked up for 5 months, but I beat the probation officers in court and proved they were lying. But here's the deal: we ain't talking about that right now. We're talking about this truck, because I've been out for about a month and I've been stuck like Chuck because my truck had been broke. And what happened was I went and got insurance on it when I got out, and it broke down on the way home. All right, so here's the deal. I got a tow home. Somebody hooked the chain up to me, brought me. I wasn't far from the house when it broke down. So the battery cable was loose. So I was thinking, well, maybe that's it. So anyway, I charged the battery up, put the battery back in there. It still wasn't cranked. And then as I've been working with a tree man, cutting trees every once in a while. So I'll be getting a little money. And every time I got some money, I'd be out here troubleshooting this every day. I'd be trying stuff, all kinds of stuff, trying to make it work. But to see, this thing runs off the computer, right? And it tells it when when the fuel injectors when to put the gas in there, and it tells it controls the firing and all that, you know. But the distributor in here, the distributor and all these sensors and all send the EEC4 on a Ford, on this my Ford, it's EEC4, that's the computer, and it tells, that's it right there, that yellow with all the wires coming out of it. The computer's on the inside of the truck, but that's where it plugs in there. But anyway, what happens is it tells it when to do all that. Yeah, all that sends it the information. Then it determines by all that information on what's the best time to do to set the time, and then advance the time, and then to shoot the gas in there. And mine runs off. It's not sequential, so that means sequential firing on the fuel injector. So what that means is I got 4 of them that fire at one time, and then the other 4 fire at one time. All right, which puts the gas in there not at the prime time that the cylinder would really need it. It's just in the ballpark enough to run, right? Which I like the sequential, because then it would do it, you know, which one is supposed to go at that time. But anyway, but what happened was, so I got me a new coil, which I took it off and put the old one back on, because it seemed like it was trying to start better with the old coil. I got me a new starter, because my starter was messing up anyway, so I ended up getting a new starter right off the bat. And then I started troubleshooting. I got a new coil, I got a new battery, I ended up getting a new fuel pump in the tank. Fuel pump, it's got 2 fuel pumps. It's got a high pressure fuel pump under the railing of under the driver's side door. There's a high pressure fuel pump. I got that, but it was I cleaned that out, and I got me a fuel filter, because I didn't have. That's probably why the other injectors. Well, actually, I thought they might have been stopped. I cleaned them out, and I took the injectors out. I've cleaned them out. I put the old ones back on, and they seemed to, you know, be squirting gas. But they were squirting a lot of gas. I didn't see. And now that I got these new ones on here, they're doing right, because it's only supposed to be like a tenth of a second or whatever. I mean, it's less than, all right, and that's all it takes. Mine were like and just squirting gas, you know, everywhere. So I thought it might have been the this control module right here that goes on your distributor. It tells the computer information and stuff, right? So it's got a bunch of electronic stuff in there. So I tested it and tested right, but it also says, well, just because it tests right don't mean it's right, because it could still be bad. So I was going to take it to the to AutoZone and have it tested, but their machine was broke. AutoZone's was broke. Everywhere on this side of town was broke, and the only place I could go was on the other side of town. And then I could I found one. They were like $80 to $100 or whatever, but I found one at White Brothers, at the little kind of like a mom and pop's um, um, auto store. Well, they had one for $40, so I thought, well, I might as well get it. So I got it and put it on. Still didn't make no difference. Still, the fuel injectors were just not. They weren't doing right. They were just whoosh, squirting way too much gas in there. So I kept filling up my oil with gas because, and trying to start it, because I ended up taking the distributor out, and then I had to reset the timing and all, right. And so I went to resetting the timing, and in the meantime, that's when the fuel pump went out. So I'm sitting here thinking my timing's still off or whatever, and for some, I mean, it's simple. I mean, I don't get number one top dead center, and then you get your number one piston on your spark plug, and then I mean on the rotor to the spark plug, and bam, I mean, you know, and you set it to, you turn this right here, and you get a little bit of adjustment out of it on where. But see, this one right here, the computer has a preset where the crankshaft is, and it's preset, so it fires off of that. It don't care. So your number, when what you're really doing on this one, where other ones you're setting it to the crankshaft, what you're doing on this one, you're setting it to what the computer already is preset to where the crankshaft is. So it's a little different. So that was kind of throwing me like, okay, does that have something to do with why I'm not why it's not like a mechanical one where everything, lines up like that, because the computer started off. All right, so I'm thinking it's computer, then I'm thinking, I don't know if it's computer or not. The computer's like, the most expensive of the $400, So anyway, what else I get? I got some new, I got new fuel injectors. I ended up buying two. They were for $120, and then that's all the money I had at the time. So I put the old ones, the best of the old ones, back on there, and they squirted. I put it all back together, and it still wasn't that right. So I ended up going through everything again, and so this is taking like really a long time. And so then I end up getting some new fuel injectors all the way down. Right, I took them all back out, and I realized what the old ones wasn't. They wasn't. The ones that I cleaned out, they wasn't working no more. Right, so I was like, dang. So I took them back off, and I got I found some. I ended up getting for $160. I got the other 6 of them. So I put them on there, and they're 2 different kinds, but they're close enough, I hope. So anyway, I got them on there, and then before I put it back together, I tried it again, and they were just squirting out gas like crazy. I'm like, that ain't right. That's way too much gas. So, I mean, what the hell? So, I'm saying it's in the computer. It's got to be the computer. It's not this control module, because I got to do it. So I took my old control module and put it back on there, and it's doing the same thing. And so I figured it's the computer. So finally, I take the computer out, and sure enough, there's some little capacitors in there, little green capacitors in there, and one of them was leaked out, and of course I researched, but the whole time I'm researching this stuff online, but you got a bunch of people, but a lot of people have, it was posted several times, on these trucks. What you normally end up doing is everything kind of goes out at once, or it seems like it does, so you end up replacing one thing at a time. You can run tests on everything until you get to the computer, then you finally put another computer in there, and that's what I did. Long story not short anymore. What I ended up doing was I got another computer, all right, and so I put it in there. Today I ordered it. I got it from online. I found one for $70. I put it on there, and you know what? Let's see if I got it on. Look, let's see that. See that? See that little squirt right there? See how I did that? See that little bit of gas starting out there? You see it hit every once in a while. Until when everything gets right, it'll squirt. See that little bit? All right, that's what I'm looking for right there. This one, all of them's doing it too. So that was my problem, the computer. I took the old computer out, and I and I'd seen where one of the transistors was like burnt, like it was burnt up or melted. The solder, it then got hot and the solder had come loose on it, so I resoldered all that and I put the old computer back in there, and then only half my injectors worked and the other half were still squirting way too much gas. So I figured, well, I changed something, I don't know, but I ended up getting a new fuel regulator too. But that's the thing back there in the back, right there, with the tube coming out of it. And what happened with that was I got the new one, I put it on there, and it was busted, so I ended up putting the old one back on there. And I'm assuming there really wasn't nothing wrong with the old one, but now I got to take the new one back. But the place on this side of town, they didn't have no new ones anymore. I got the last one, and they still ain't ordered no new ones. So to take it back and get a trade, I have to go on. But this one might, I mean, it seems to still be good, but I might just take that new one and go ahead and, I mean, the new broke one, and get another new one, the good one, just to have on standby, because those can commonly go out. This throttle, oh, I got a new throttle position sensor too, because mine was busted. This is spring loaded right here. That it's spring loaded in the center right there, and that little tabs in there, they spring back and forth. But on mine, it was busted, and that has a lot to do with the computer telling it how much gas goes in there. But that wasn't what was causing my problem, because I got a new one and it didn't change the fact that way too much gas is going in there. That thing right there on the back wall right there, it's got a vacuum tube that hooks up to it. It's like the mass airflow sensor, but on these trucks they do what the mass of, but now they got these and a mass airflow sensor on some trucks. But mine just has that. It doesn't have a mass airflow sensor. It has a mass air, just a mass air sensor or whatever. I forgot what it's called, vacuum sensor or whatever. But anyway, that tells the computer how much gas to squirt in there with the how much vacuum is coming through. So anyway, that's what's up with that. So I've been a month down, and that's why I ain't made no videos. And I ended up getting the computer, and now it's squirting right. I'm supposed to put it back together, and hopefully I got that timing right. Much as I kept thing, I got the spout out on it. This is called the spout right here. See this little deal right here? I thought I spliced one of my wires to make sure that that runs to the starter. It runs to the starting system, and what it sends when you start it, it sends a signal over here, and it tells this thing to start doing stuff. But I believe that's what it does anyway, from what I understand. But anyway, so I ran a wire straight over there just to see if that was busted, but it wasn't. So I ended up taking the splice back out. But this is spout. When you're setting the timing on these, you're supposed to take the spout out, because that'll keep it from advancing the timing and all while you're trying to set the timing. Something else I read about these: if you the computer if you disconnect your battery while you're working on this computer control, it resets it, and then the computer, and it'll when you go to start it back up, it can throw things out kind of out of whack until it figures out what's going on, because what it does is it erases the memory in it, and the memory that it goes to when you know right off the bat. It erases it. So what it does is it goes back to the prior memory, back further, and it could be, you know, a memory where, like, your it's got a catalytic right there before the catalytic converter is the oxygen sensor, which this is not called an oxygen sensor. It's called a heated oxygen sensor kind of thing, whatever. But anyway, what that thing gets information on that computer, tells it how much gas to go to put in it too. You know, you use that to figure out how much gas to put in it. So that thing could be throwing, you know, everything off. And then when you disconnect your battery, and it'll go back to when that thing was, and you put a new one in there, or you change something else in here, and then it's going to have to run for a little while to figure out oh, wait a minute. Okay, everything's back to this, you know. So anyway, no bullshit. I'll tell you about the probation officer later. But yeah, that was, wow, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. I don't know. Anyway, holla. Thanks for joining me, Nanobug Studios.